You are watching my favorite YouTube channel. I go by the name of Chillmonger. You go by the name of Subscriber. She goes by the name of Ewing, name of Demio, and then they switched up the artists on us. The next artist here is Bob Quinn, and I can tell you exactly where they switched artists to. She has a very Simone Demio. She has a very unique style, and they switched it up later. And colors is the man called Federico Blee, who has interacted with this channel before. One of the few Marvel creators to do so. We begin with Kevin Ford. That's right, Wither. You remember him from New X-Men? I remember him from New X-Men. And so did Ewing. He's awesome. He's this guy who's like the opposite of Elixir, who's one of those 5 right now in the X-Men. Referencing old shit makes the new shit sound better. It's rewarding for the old fans. It doesn't hurt at all. Actually, it strengthens these guys who are making this argument side of the argument. It's wonderful. I love that. I love the arguing in this book all over from the beginning to the end of it. There is like a villain here who I thought it was actually Noriko Ashido. Noriko, what's her name? Surge, I think is her name. I thought it was her. It wasn't though. But there is like this concentration type school thing where people are getting depowered. And you can see the image of these students here. We know the ones that we know. We know about Locust. We know about Starling. We know about Bombshell. And we know about Snowguard. We do know those 4. But there's also other ones around here. Lesser known people. So insignificant that they don't even deserve to be named here on this page. Let me tell you why that's really cool and intelligent. Because to the rest of Marvel, the people who read Wolverine and Fantastic Four, the champions are the lesser known, not even bothered to be named. So they were elevated by showing the non-important people around these people. So just by having people who are level 1s, while they may be level 2s, and there's 10 levels in total, they are the highest level in that room because of this level 1s who are around them, who are unnamed. That's all I wanted to say about that. I thought it was a smart thing to do there. Amka is going to level up, and she's going to turn into her angel wings things. The way that they did this, time slip comes in and just says, okay, we're going to go back in time before you got angry and remove you from that room. That's amazing. That's really smart thinking. That is child friendly. That is because you're not killing anybody. You're not eliminating them. So rather you are eliminating them non-violently. The message still gets across. This is awesome. I think I have an Evel Ewing bias right now based off of things I've read. I'm not apologizing for the bias, as she might say, but it's there. This is one of the best writers I've seen, like, because she satisfies what I am interested in. Subjectively speaking, everyone reads comics for different reasons. Some people just love the artwork, which was nice here. Like, I love the shading, the tone. Let's go back to Federico Blee. Federico, your colors were great here. It was grim when it needed to be grim. It matched the tone of what was happening in the comic all the way through. Good stuff here in the comic. And then we get to the protesting. And again, this is why I like Ewing, because even though I'm going to compliment what happened in the art, I'm going to mention that it's the writer dictating it. There's a moment here where you can see that there's a reporter standing and talking. Standing and talking is my enemy in comic books, right? Like, just show me the word bubbles, but show me artworks elsewhere rather than just showing me people standing and talking. What's your take? What about you? And that's what happened here. First you get the news reporter, and the second image we get is her leaning over to the guy who's giving his take. And then it's just his speech bubbles. And we get to see more of the city, get to see some helicopters, we get a scope of just how large the crowds are, and he gives his piece, and she actually cuts him off. It's kind of funny. He goes, and of course these rules are mostly hurting youth of color and LGBTQ youth as well as, and then she said, oh, thank you for your perspective. Thank you. He was going to go deeper. See this guy here, he was going to mention about the champions and how Marvel's been using them, creating new characters for the sake of, look guys, we have finally a Latina superhero. There she is. Yeah, and the champions. And we have finally a black Spider-Man, and they throw him in here. And then we've got this the Sam Alexander guy, and they throw him in champions. Champions has been the what's the word? Like the dumping grounds, yeah, of just all of the creative stuff that they were doing in 2016. Let's just put him in champions. We need to do a Native American. Where should we introduce that? Champions. And Jim Zub makes a Native American hero. It's I don't like that it's the dumping ground. While I do love diversity, that's what this comic book was treated like. So that's what that guy was going to continue with. All right, then we get to the coolest part here, where you got left wing versus right wing. We've got pro-life, pro-choice. We've got mask and vaccine and anti-vac. Every internet argument I've ever seen in my life, where people bring their points here, people bring their points here, and they just argue about it, was perfectly executed here in this comic. It was as if this was real. And Jamila, who I was telling you about, was like, yeah, why are we giving her so much attention? What could she be worth in the past? I know I'm never going to invest in her. Jamila's back. Jamila's here. Jamila's significant. She gave her take on what happened living in that school in Cole's Academy. Living in the school, you know what I mean? She was on the ground level, and she tells her side of the story, and it kind of makes sense. I want to cross references with something in real life, but it's probably better not to. Not that I'm afraid to, but just I don't. Sometimes it leads to an unproductive comment section. It was nailed though. Lovely. Let's keep on going. Oh, then we get to the big three: Sam Alexander, Miles Morales, and Kamala Khan. They are going to superhero up, and look, they're going to go to Riri's house, and Riri Williams shows you why she is the best comic book character in the history of comic book characters. She's just chilling. South Shore of Chicago. To my knowledge, this is the first time they've mentioned she lives on the South Shore of Chicago. And I would love to be proven wrong in the comment section, but this is actually confirmation, because I was always wondering if she lived on the south side of Chicago. There she is, drawing with her head wrapped, just like a normal day at home. She's watching the television as she does. I remember in the Bendis days how she was watching CNN and Fox at the same time, and that's what you're supposed to do. You gotta watch both channels. And her mom talks to her and says, listen, don't let them put you down. Honey, wake up, Riri. Think you might go to the lab today. And she looks like she's stuck at home. Again, with the colors. It is dark and gloomy in this comic at this point in time. Mom, to her, we learned in 2020 Iron Man, I think the book was called. Mom is the reason why she is not doing anything and just staying at home. You see Xavier pull in, and she answers the door, and she's like, nah, I can't do any of that. I can't be outside. I just no fun, no thanks. He just wanted to go like on a movie night or something. Well, that she says no, she can't and everything. But in 2020 Iron Man, which was a book I didn't like, she actually went to the train station, I think it was, where she met up with him and was like, hey, it's good to have you back. So which one is it? It was very inconsistent in that respect, where she was down to be outside with Xavier as long as she doesn't do anything superhero. But over here, she's just stuck indoors. Yeah, that was a bad book. That Danny Lohr, Vita Ayala, 2020 Iron Man, that was a bad one. She is met with the freaking champions, the three members of the champions. And she says she knows who Kamala is. You know why? Because she's Batman. Kamala, Riri Williams is a super genius. Of course she's going to know who she is. Of course she knows that. And she dropped some knowledge about it must be nice for everyone to not know your identity. Did you see our congressional testimonies on the news? Nova, Spider-Man, and my whole name spelled out for the whole world to see. Riri Williams. That's not your whole name. Your whole name is Dimitri Williams, isn't it? No, I'm wrong. Her full name, government name, is Riri Williams, because that's what they said the SHIELD people were saying. In the same comic I mentioned earlier, where she's watching Fox and CNN. It was the same comic, issue 6. Anyways, Dimitri is what her dad's name was, and the mom called the dad Riri, and then she just transferred the name over to a girl named Riri Williams. Okay. And then we get this moment here where Nova takes off that helmet. And Sam took off that helmet and talks to her. And she goes, I don't recall asking you to sit on my couch. Perfect Riri Williams response. This is so authentic to who she is. Like, I know you're gonna give me the big speech, and I don't care. They chit chat. They have to strap up, and of course, Riri Williams keeps her armor on her elbows all the time. And I love the artwork showing the armor come on. It was awesome. It was a good discussion between these two parties, Riri and the Three Champions. It was great character building for Nova, who really doesn't get too much love. I know Nova from reading Nova. Sam Alexander's from Carefree, Arizona, which is a place where kids get separated from their families all the time. I get it. Arizona. They didn't cross the border crossed them. He's from that part of the world, and all of a sudden, all those old comics that I've read, I was rewarded for reading it. The stuff where Sam says over here, if I'm not Nova, I don't know who I am. All that Jim Zub stuff, that whole run, rewarded for reading all that stuff. She made all the books better. Ewing did. That's how you do it. That's how it's done. And really, that was like one page, honestly, before Riri gets strapped up, and then she's like, "Whoa, you have your armor with you?" Yeah, she keeps it on her elbows all the time. We get a moment here where Vision is where is she? She's traveling somewhere, and someone says to her like, "You're a young girl. Like, you traveling alone, whatever it is you're running from, I hope you've got something that you're running to. Otherwise, you're liable to just keep running, and that ain't no kind of life." And these guys are fighting the Cradle agents, who of course they're gonna whoop their asses with, and we know they're gonna whoop their asses. It's really not I don't need the scene by scene breakdown of that fight. I thought this comic book was amazing. I'm at a loss for words of how good this comic book was. It is refreshing to read stuff like this. I want more. What do you find folks believe of this comic book? If you hated it, please, I welcome that comment. Tell me why it sucked, and then we can discuss. Because unlike the people over here on this comic book who are just idiots spouting what they heard on the TV and just programmed that way, we're gonna have a cordial discussion. Okay, I'm Chillmonger, and I'm out. I can't click the thing.